Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Vista Ventures. I'm Caleb.
I'm Dave.
And today we're up here at Blue Knob State Park here in Pennsylvania at the eastern trailhead for the Lost Turkey Trail. It's been one we've wanted to rip off here for a little while. We're going to try to do this one in kind of a challenge hike. It's be like a 26-mile day hike for us because we've got stuff if we need to stay the night, but we're going to try to pound this one out all day today. This will set a new PR for us too for mileage by about 3 miles, so we're looking forward to that. It's here mid-June and it's about 50 degrees here. It's a little after 7 o'clock in the morning, so we're pretty excited for that and low humidity. So we're looking forward to a good trail here, so we're going to get started. Now, one thing to note here about this eastern trailhead is it's just kind of on this road.
Trailhead is a loose term.
Yeah, trailhead is a bit of a loose term. There's not really any designated parking. You see, we just kind of have the trucks stuffed off the side of this road in case they need to get up. I think there's like a radio tower or something up here, so that's probably why they have this blocked off to keep people from getting up there and messing with that. But just know that if you're here during inclement weather or something like that, you're gonna probably want to have four-wheel drive or something to get here. But nevertheless, we're gonna get started. So as you start approaching this radio tower here, they did start putting blazes on the actual road itself. So if you're watching for them, as you get up here, you just bear off to the left, and right over here, see there's a sign for the Lost Turkey as it continues. And I don't think we mentioned yet, but the Lost Turkey is all blazed with red blazes. So we'll be following those for the duration of our hike. Another fun fact about the Lost Turkey Trail is pretty much right where we are right now is the highest point of this trail. It's actually the highest point of any backpacking trail in Pennsylvania, about 3,034 feet. We've been on a considerable number of the trails here in PA, some of them pretty rugged, and it's pretty wild that this is actually the trail that has the highest elevation.
1,000 foot higher than that.
Yeah, most of the trails we do usually hover right around like the 2,000 mark when you're up on top of the mountains, 2,200, something like that, but this guy's up over 3,000, so that's pretty sweet. So right after you get into the woods here on the Lost Turkey, from the eastern trailhead, you get down onto this section that's kind of standing stony here with all these stone steps, but as Dave just pointed out, they do move a fair bit. So you're going to want to watch yourself and make sure that you're sure of your footing so you don't take a tumble down over the mountain.
So far the trail here is looking real promising to be able to rip this in a day. Nice and level, smooth, well defined. I guess they have some kind of a trail race coming up here in a couple weeks. So we're sure it's going to be extra well taken care of for preparation for those people.
Alright, so a few housekeeping notes. Since we are trying to rip off all 26 miles here in one shot, Dave and I are both sporting some pretty high speed, low drag setups. Cut a lot of stuff out just for this. Like I've got in case we do have to camp, I've got like an Eno sub 7 hammock, and then just my normal tarp. And Dave's rocking just his outdoor research helium bivvy. I don't even think he brought a sleep pad. We're pretty committed to just a blanket. So we're pretty committed to just doing whatever we need to do to crank this thing out all in one day. The main impetus behind that is it looks like tonight and early tomorrow might be some storms with some fairly significant rain come rolling through. And since it's so nice today, definitely didn't want to miss out on the opportunity to get out here. And this is just one of those trails that's kind of been on our radar for the past couple years, and finally decided that today's the day we're gonna get out and check this guy off the list.
There's the 2 mile mark. We're, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes in. Moving pretty well. So they do have this sporadically marked with mile markers. There wasn't a 1, so I don't know how often they do, but they do have several.
We're continuing to switch back down over this mountain that we started on. Eventually, I think we're going to come down to a road. Like we said, so far the trail's been super well maintained and pretty easy, no real technical stuff to deal with. And once you get down off the mountain there, down to this road, and it kind of looks like you should be making a turn right here because you've got this turn marked, but
you don't.
No, actually we just keep walking up this road because it's kind of hard to see since it's a red blaze, but there is blaze on this tree up here. Well, if you remember when we mentioned earlier, there's a big trail race coming up here, and we thought, you know what? This trail's gonna be in great shape. We won't have any blowdowns, nothing to worry about. We'll just be able to fly out the trail. Well,
we were wrong.
As you can see, there is a freaking massive blowdown in front of us.
I'm gonna go this way. I ain't walking on there.
So we're gonna have to do a little bit of bushwhacking here to try to get around this big bugger. And we're back on the trail. Huh. Well, hope they get that cleared out of there. There are gonna be some runners awfully disappointed they come charging up to that bad boy.
All right, this monument you see behind us is a shrine to the Cox children, who in 1856 wandered off away from home and were missing for 2 weeks basically. There were hundreds of people went out and were searching for them, and a farmer named Jacob Dibert actually had 3 dreams in a row apparently. It was always the same dream, so he went out and followed the clues in them, and this monument here is where they actually found the children's bodies, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was kind of a big deal that there were like a couple hundred people that turned out to look for them, and this is obviously long before the age of cell phones, and no one had a radio or telephone or anything, but they just kind of went by word of mouth, and I'm sure probably like church bells and stuff that let everybody know in the area that there was this kids missing, and everybody turned out and searched for weeks to try to find them. So it's definitely pretty tragic that they ended up just finding their bodies here at this site, but it's nice that they do have a monument here to kind of memorialize them. So after the lost children of the Alleghenies monument back there, the trail just kind of continues to follow this valley on up here. And as you can see, the stinging nettle along the trail is pretty severe. So definitely recommend, if you're going to do this trail in the summer months, probably going to want to consider wearing some pants, because if it's anything like some of the sections we've been seeing here after the monument, if that continues, you'd be getting pretty well covered with stinging nettle all the way the rest of the trail. So we'll see. Fortunately, this section right here cleared up, so maybe that was just a bad section back there, and it'd be a little bit nicer on up. But just to play it safe, I definitely recommend wearing pants for this trail if you're going to do it in the summer. Remember when we mentioned about pants for the stinging nettle? This section, you darn near need a set of chest waders. I mean, look at, I've never seen stinging nettle this high. This is ridiculous. Holy crap.
So this section here is kind of steep and miserable. If you're coming from the other direction, buckle up.
All right, after we finish coming down off that ridge, come out to a really nice section of the trail here. This beautiful wide stream. Be a great spot to take a break at. Really nice. We've been hiking for about 2 hours. Decided since this is a really nice spot here along this stream, and it's kind of a primitive campsite already here with some seats, went ahead and stopped and eaten some granola bars. What do you got there, Dave?
I don't know. Some fashion of chewy candies.
What's your opinion on them?
They're okay. I don't know that I will buy them again. I got a variety box of different things. It had a lot of, like, some honey stingers and Bobo bars and Kate's Real Food, stuff I've been wanting to try. And they were in the box with them, and figured I'd bring them along for this trip, see what they did.
Mm-hmm.
Dried cranberries always.
Oh yeah.
They're always a good standby.
That's a good go-to. What you guys can't see behind us is right over there behind where the camera is. There's this like sketchy cable crossing. I don't know if it used to be a bridge or what the deal is, so looks like the trail goes over there because we can see some blazes across the stream, so stay tuned for that. I'm sure that'll be pretty exciting.
Or maybe we'll just slog through the stream.
Dave, come on.
I'm not all about tumbling off a cable bridge.
We got to keep the sense of adventure high. All right, Dave. Well, here we are. This is that wild cable crossing we were talking about. Haven't seen one quite like this yet. So
For good reason, Caleb.
for good reason.
This is pretty dumb.
This is definitely a sketchy arrangement here.
I mean, to start with, they're lying straight on top of each other, so to have your feet on it, you got to be rubbing it.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know if you've ever dealt with cable before, but you don't really want to rub cable.
No.
It does splinter.
Yeah.
I think we're going to go ahead and use our heads and go over here. All right, well. Caleb decided we're just going to go for it.
We're just gonna go for it. It's here. Where's your sense of adventure, Dave?
I mean, if this was over a chasm, it'd be one thing, but this is like a puddle.
Are the trail runners gonna do this?
No, they're going to use their head and just go through the stream.
I'm not enjoying this. Just deal with it, Dave. Just pretend it was a chasm. Pretend there is no other choice.
There is. I live in the real world, not your imaginary fantasy land. It used to be a mine. Practice pulling this rope.
It does really have a mime vibe to him. Look at him go.
Talk.
Look at him go. Oh my.
Such grace.
Such grace.
Elegance.
Well, there. We can check that off the list of unnecessary things that we've done.
All right. And we're
All right,
back.
we're back. We're ready to
unstow our trekking poles.
We're ready to let fly now. Certainly been seeing a lot of blowdowns here. Wasn't really expecting this. Thought it was going to be in a little bit better shape, but whatever. We'll just ford across here and have to go around, get over there to the other side of these trees. All right, we finally made it up onto some nicer ridge walking here. Seems like all that stinging nettle was just super prevalent every time we drop down into one of these hollows. So definitely gonna relish being up here on the ridge for a while. Hopefully that is a pretty decent section of trail out along here, because getting kind of tired of walking through all that stinging nettle. It's kind of more humid down there too. Blowdowns everywhere. Can't believe the number of blowdowns there are, considering there's like a big trail race or something coming up here in like 2 weeks. Thought
We're gonna need a horde of people with chainsaws.
Yeah, I thought the trail would have been in great shape, but my goodness. But definitely gonna enjoy this section of ridge walking here while we can, because it's pretty nice.
Yeah, definitely ripping the miles now.
We're slicing along this overgrown section, and again,
Well maintained, he said.
and again, just blowdowns everywhere. So sad about all these blowdowns. I mean, if this was early spring, I wouldn't be surprised. With no maintenance, having time to get out here, but goodness gracious, it's really slowing us down. Just past the 7-mile mark. So we got like 19 to go. So we're not gonna have a whole lot of opportunity to screw around. Still heading out along the ridge, and got to the first kind of vista of the day. Just a little opening here through the trees. Best vista we've seen so far. As you can see, this is just kind of what the trail's been doing now. We've just been side hilling out along this ridge.
A little bit of pull here, you can see.
And the whole way out along, it's just kind of these little micro vistas, as Dave would say. You can just kind of see out through. Breeze is really nice through here.
Yeah, beautiful breeze.
This has been a really nice section of trail up along this ridge as we've been side hilling out along here.
It's another little bit of a vista here, but if you look really close, way up there, there's Blue Knob. That's where we've come from.
Coming down just before 869, coming to another really nice stream. It's a good place to fill up, maybe rest for a minute, and get over and cross the road and keep trucking. So Dave has pointed out there's no real gradual way to get down into this stream. You just kind of got to go for it, I guess. Once you get down there, it doesn't look too bad, but
Yeah, no, it's nice down here.
getting down there is pretty rough. It's not a real gradual drop to get down there. Hopefully the other side's a little bit better. It looks it. Looks like the next 3 miles are going to be the most significant elevation gain we've got left. And I think we're going to be up on the flat. So looking forward to cranking these next 3 miles out and getting back up on the ridge. So far our climb up here has been really easy. I mean, this section of trail is graded for like mountain biking and stuff, so it's been pretty well maintained here so far. Hoping that continues, 'cause it's really allowing us to just kind of pick up the pace and rip off some mileage here.
Another small vista, a little bit of a view. We're coming up along an old roadbed, and we are not super impressed with how well this trail is blazed. There's an offshoot there. Goes straight ahead here. There's no marks really anywhere. There was one that got us back onto this road we're on now. That's the last we've seen for a bit. So we're gonna pick a direction and go with it.
One way or another and see what happens.
See where we're at. Worst we can do is turn around and come back.
Alright, I think we finally made it up on the plateau, so I think any serious elevation gain we're done with for the day. Probably a little bit to go, but nothing like what we just come up, which was actually really easy. Wasn't bad at all because it's graded for mountain bikes. There's just a lot of switchbacks to get up here. We mentioned back there about the sketchy blazing. If you start coming up that road and get to that turn where you can either keep going straight or turn right and cut up over the hill, it is just keep going straight. We had to go out there about another quarter mile before we ran into a super faded blaze, but we're finally seeing some now, so I don't know what the deal is with that. Not putting blazes, especially for people that'll be out doing this for that trail run, but whatever. We lucked out, had a 50-50 shot, picked the right way.
So out across the top here, we run into a bog, I guess. It's kind of wild, on top of the mountain. But they got us a nice little bridge here.
Looks like we're coming out to a pretty sizable meadow. Huh. That seems pretty wild. Not sure what this is, but it's kind of neat. Wasn't expecting this up here. So about the last mile and a half we've done has just been what you see here. Just thick brush on each side and just road walking. And it's very easy to rip the miles out here, which is benefiting us immensely, but definitely not much to look at. Just kind of a bummer.
We're still buzzing along this road. It's a little after 2:30 and we just passed the 16-mile mark. It's time to probably stop and pop the packs here, but as you can see, there's really no good place to do that. I'm not setting up shop in the middle of this road.
All right, we finally made it out to apparently where we're going to turn off here. So looking forward to finally getting off this road. I don't know that we're looking forward to charging into this underbrush, but whatever. We'll see if it gets a little bit better established as we get in here. We're both running real low on water. I've got about 100 milliliters, so I'm set. But I think we're gonna be getting into some water here in the next mile or so, so I think it'll come out just about perfect.
Caleb and I are super excited to report that the road we were on has given way to an overgrown road.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Even better.
Conditions have improved. So after we got off that overgrown road, which there was a
watch that intersection.
Yeah, watch that intersection, because there was a side trail that we're on now, where the trail jutted off to the left. Wasn't marked with an arrow or anything, or a double blaze or sign, nothing. So fortunately we kind of stopped and saw it. So we come off and now we're continuing on here, and we're actually in a nice open wooded section. nicest section we've seen here in a little while, so that's definitely refreshing after coming off of those just miles of road walking. So I think shortly here we're going to cross over another road, and then there's supposed to be water, maybe a half mile once we get down into the woods. So we're definitely looking forward to that because we're both pretty much completely out of water. Oh, look at this. Look at this, Dave.
Oh my goodness.
Little baby turkeys. Well, this is pretty wild.
Right everywhere.
Look at that. Look at this little guy. Look at this little guy. Aw. Baby turkeys. Huh. Well, this was quite the find. We just saw Mama run off ahead of us. And here I am focused trying to see if she's still there, and there's all these little turkeys everywhere all over the trail. Glad I stopped before I stepped on them.
They killed. Do you think that's why they call it the Lost Turkey Trail?
Maybe.
Because these little fellas are lost since Mama just up and skedaddled on us.
Huh. That was really cool. That was not something I've ever seen out before. I've seen small turkeys before, but considerably bigger than that. Those guys were not very old.
Yeah. Just quit a desk.
Dave's not impressed with the water situation here, but
I'm much less impressed by the lack of water in our bottles, so.
yeah, we're completely out, so we're gonna have to make this work. His side doesn't look too bad. It's at least running pretty good. Okay, so an update on the current state of affairs. Dave's super livid, and I'm not real thrilled myself. So we've been following red blazes the whole time, as you're all well aware. So we continued to follow red blazes right after that water source back there that we filled up, and it brought us to this intersection.
With red blazes everywhere!
Where there's 3 different options for red blazes. Red blaze down there takes us to an observation deck, apparently. Red blazes up here, which takes us to some mountain road, I guess. And then red blazes over here that take us to Skyline Drive, I guess. I don't know.
Evidently Buffalo Road.
And they're all red. So what we're thinking happened is...
And we didn't show you, but they were kind of mixing orange in. They were dabbling orange in with the red.
Yes, yeah.
So we're thinking that they pulled the old switcheroo on us and never told us because that's useless information.
Yeah, so what we're thinking happened is back where we made that turn to come down and get that water, thinking that the orange continued on out, and now we're assuming we're supposed to be following orange. Not super stoked that we're on a trail that's suddenly switching blaze colors on us, but...
With no warning.
Yeah, so that's what we think happened. So we're going to walk back and see what we can figure out, but we're certainly in a state of confusion here at Vista Ventures.
Confusion's the proper word.
Confusion and mild rage. But we're just going to backtrack here. Fortunately, it wasn't very far, and try to figure out what the heck we're supposed to do. Alright, we're back at the intersection where everything went to hell in a handbasket. So, as we're coming down, again, like we mentioned, we're both red and orange blazes intermixed. So we just kind of chalked that up to...
some yellow.
And there was some yellow involved too.
Yellow. That might come into play.
It might. So we chalked that up as whatever, I guess. And when we come down, there's another section, like a little Y there, that takes you on down that way and out this road. Everything's blazed red, so we thought, okay, that's where we need to go. But obviously once we got up to that wild intersection of 3 trails, we knew that wasn't it. I remember, and looking at the map, and remembering what I saw here when we cut down over there to get water, I remember seeing an orange blaze down here, and it's down on this tree. So there's this blaze, and there's also a sign on this tree that says, no horses and no bikes. So to me, that says this is a hiking trail. So we're hoping that this is the Lost Turkey. If not, we're just blundering out into the wilderness. So we're gonna head this way and see what happens. So wish us luck, folks. So these are kind of the blazes we're following now. These multi-use guys, the red and the orange. Near as we can tell, the orange is actually the lost turkey. There were a couple times where a red trail jutted off. So every time we've turned to stay on the orange, it's kept us going in the right direction. So know that apparently once you get out of the state game lands and private property and switch over to the state forest land, that it goes to orange. So if in doubt, follow orange. Yeah, here's what we're talking about. Orange arrow and a red arrow. Here, as we can tell, I guess the orange arrows are what we need to be following, and the reds are just horse trails or something, equestrian trails, I guess. But I mean, every time we've stayed on the orange so far, it's seemed to keep going. We keep running into the mile mark, so that's a good sign at least. All right, well, we just got done mud bogging through this bog out in this clearing. You can see this sort of nasty crap we're dealing with.
You don't want to step down in there, you'll lose a shoe.
Yeah, it was pretty sketchy getting through there. We're just kind of jumping around and moving quick because you'd start to sink. So hopefully that's done for a little while, because that slowed us way down. We just passed the 22 mile mark here a little bit ago, so we just got about 4 to go. So we're gonna crank these out as quick as we can.
I figured we'd pass this gem along to you. This is solid advice. Doesn't matter if you're on the trail, on a sidewalk, if you see a snowcat coming, please yield.
So it turns out there's apparently a shelter along this trail. I was not aware of that.
Oh, why here?
Yeah, right back there.
Pretty nice, I guess.
Shelter, benches, picnic table. Huh.
But we're 3 miles from the end.
Yeah, 3-ish miles from the end.
We're a long way from the other end.
Or 22 and a half from the other way, so that's pretty wild. But I guess know that it's there if your heart's set on camping out here. I mean, maybe if you just wanted to hike in for a quick overnight or something.
There wasn't a whole lot of other camping options, so.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we saw a dry site at like the 19 mile mark, but that was about it. All right, well, it thundered at us here a minute ago, so
we're super stoked for that.
we're just gonna keep legging it. See if we can make it to the car before the storm gets here. All right, everybody. Well, at long last, we made it back to the trailhead. It's quite the day. Got to tell you, between the really poor trail conditions, not much to see, and the really terrible blazing, made today kind of miserable. Definitely would not put this trail on the list of trails that I'd recommend.
0 out of 10. Would not recommend.
So if you're in this area and you want to do a decent trail, right across from this trailhead is the trailhead for the John P Saylor Trail, which is a 17-mile loop and is much more enjoyable than what this was. If you have to do a section of this, definitely recommend probably the first 9-10 miles, and that's about it, because after that, this whole section out through the state forest was just pretty rough. Just a lot of road walking, overgrown road walking, and then the trail blazing just being super inconsistent and sparse was really made it hard to stay on trail. But overall, at least we were able to set a new PR for the day. Knocked off 26 miles in just under 12 hours, so that was at least a plus for the day. But right now, we're hungry and there's some pizza calling our name. So till next time, this is Vista Ventures. See you later.